Woo! All right, finally a better than expected Thursday night football game. That's probably the best way I could say it. Wasn't great. It was good. I think you was in it for like more of a storyline type of purpose than it was really good. If not, probably not. But the Bears got the win versus the Commanders, and in a dominant fashion. I would say the score is going to look close, and to be honest, it almost started to look like how it did against Denver. I was like, the Bears came out trying to fire on all cylinders. Uh, uh, Fields launched the ball, and he was just like this off from getting it to Mooney. And if he could have got it, I was like, he could have got it right. He would have called it. But if he would have tossed it perfect, that could have probably been one of those like trying to take it to the house kind of thing. But didn't even really matter because not too long, a couple plays after that, he basically launched the ball to DJ Moore and got him into the end zone, and they got basically on the board. And then after that, it was really just a surgical procedure after that point. For the offense, and I was like the defense was rocking and moving, and it really looked like last week where it was just like boom, not too long after that. I was like, field goal, cool, whatever. I was like, Washington gets field goal, cool, whatever. Then after that, it was just I was like, no. I was like, the field goal was later for the Chicago. But after that, it was just again, it was just like touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Yeah, and I was like, it. He was on point, and the way the game sort of played out was cool. We're scoring. That's good. That's great. Fields looking. He's improving on what he did last week. The offense is looking on point. Okay, now we just need to keep scoring, right? And holding them off. Let's do that. And it was. First half, I was like, got it. Lock. Defense coming up with stopping them on third down, coming up with plays. They're playing a whole lot better than they was last week. But we can also say that how it was last week. Because the second half, I don't know what happened, but you know how it's already been the last couple of weeks where teams after halftime make their adjustments, do their little rah-rah speech, I guess, or something, and the Commanders came out and basically was like, nah, we ain't going to go out like that. So they scored a touchdown, and I was like, all right, cool, fine, whatever. Then after that, I was like, they came back. I was like, not too long later, scored again. And at this point, I felt like everyone that was basically of the Bears, like, we ain't gonna do this again. Nah, this can't happen again. This ain't nope, nah. We can't. No. I was like, if you was a Bear fan, I feel like you probably started to throw like your hat and probably starting to think about taking off your jersey and wondering what to do with it. Cause it was looking very reminiscent. And I want to say I think it's really, really good that kicker missed that kick. Because at that point, I mean, they fell on a 2-point conversion, which would have just made it down 8. But if the kicker would have got to 3, it's 7. Now, so now it's like they would come back against the Eagles. You're like, oh man, the Bears, how's this going to go? And luckily, he missed the kick. And once he sort of missed the kick, that sort of took all the sails out of like Washington at that point. Because then the Bears got the ball back, and I was like, Fields threw a hell of a ball. Granted, the defense was pretty much in basically like I was like there was like nobody back there. It was all man up, and if somebody could make somebody miss, it was over, and that's sort of what happened. Field basically high pointed the ball. Fuller just barely missed it, and DJ Moore just took it to the house. Which DJ Moore, I if there was, I was like, you know how they like interviewed Jamar Chase and was like, are you open? Whatever. He's like, I'm always effing open. That's sort of how I've been feeling with DJ Moore, where it's like, yes, the offense has been bad for Chicago, but that boy has been locked up. And I don't mean from the defense, I mean on offense. Cause the last couple of weeks, and you seen it sort of early in the season too. Like he gets the when he gets the ball, or somehow, like he either got to run after the catch, or that boy is open. And that's pretty much the last couple weeks has been like they only got one number one receiver. All the other dudes are okay, but they only got one number one receiver, and yet more have been going crazy. And I was like, maybe it's all that. Maybe he ain't do nothing the first couple weeks, so that's why it's all that energy he got to come out. But cause he had one that he had like two others that didn't, but he could have probably taken them to the house. Uh, yeah, no, he was always that close on a couple of them. Uh, I was like, they're lucky that I was like, Fields was sort of late on the touchdown to Mooney, which could have gave them another touchdown. Cause that's the one I think they got the field goal on. Yeah, no, I was like, he basically picked them apart today. He barely ran on top of that too. Uh, I was like, they did try to get him a couple of times on the quarterback stuff, which is I was like, they stuffed it and they stopped it, but they didn't stop nothing else that he was doing. So they pretty much like, you gonna beat up with his arm with your arm. He did. Um, on the other hand, Sam Howell had a difficult first half. He did. He wasn't. He was just late on a lot of passes. Don't get me wrong, the defense for the Bears was like getting all up in the face, and they sort of did that pretty much throughout the whole game. But you could tell like on a few of them that he was just like late getting them. It was like sort of the right read, or he didn't have time, so he just dunked it, and But then the second half, he was just letting it rip. They got weapons on that offense to the point where they shouldn't be stagnant like how they was today, especially against like a Bears team. Like I was like, they were riding the momentum of the Bears scoring the offense, scoring the touchdowns and stuff. But it's still Bears defense. Um, but yeah, no. After that, I was like, they started using the running backs more. I feel like actually down the field instead of just like at a escape outlet. Uh, this was more of a intermediate, so it was more of a Samuels like Thomas type of game. McLaurin didn't really like go crazy here. I was like, to be honest, I didn't really realize he was really on the field as much. I was like, they were using Brown quite a bit in play that I would expect probably be more McLaurin, but I was like, the offense got on board, and the defense up front did pretty good, but not as good as what their potential is with Sweat and Young and Allen and Payne. They didn't get the feels like that, and that pretty much left their DBs aren't great out to dry. Because I like the front of their line is supposed to be what gets the back end ready to go. Uh, but anyway, I was like, no, but the Bears get on. I was like, get on the board with a win. Uh, we'll see if they could rise some momentum with this, because I was like, granted, they probably should have like a 2-game winning streak going and be a little bit more in this division. I was like, hey, they're sort of tied for last, but they're also not last. I was like, depending on how you want to see it. Um, yeah, hopefully they can build on this. Not saying that they need to be, go on some run and try to be in the playoffs or nothing, but at least make something of their season. Maybe at least you can see if Eberflus is the coach to keep, which is still up in the air. Fields, I don't think they're going to keep him, to be honest, but he could drive his value up. So there's also that. As far as the Commanders, I feel like this is sort of a victory they needed to get to stay competitive in that division. I don't think they're out of it by any means. Like I said, they could possibly still find themselves in the playoffs just because the NFC is, I was like, it should be hard because it's always hard when you're the third team in a division to try to get it when mostly, each division sort of produces about two of them. But uh, no, I was like, I don't think they're out of it. Sam Howell still finding his way, still being, young. I was like, whatnot. I'm really surprised that they were talking about him being like a 5th-round pick, but not bringing up that before that he was looking at being a 1st-round pick. Just basically a season before that. So like he's like, unlike some others like Ritter and all that other stuff, he was actually projected as a 1st-round pick at the time or two. But anyway, Fields That's what I'm talking about. I thought y'all were going to lose this game. I'm not going to lie, but I did say Fields was going to have a good game, a good showing, despite them lose in this game because I didn't trust the defense and stuff like that and the debacle last week. But Fields, from now on, that's how you play. Anyway, you like this video and this recap? I was like, and you like to tell me like, maybe you're a Bear fan, maybe you still got a little bit of hope in Fields, let me know. If not, hey. But if you didn't like the video, also, hey, maybe next time. But until then, I'm out.